My fellow nerds, I would like to make a public apology for the unnecessary credit that I gave Disney the previous session about saying that they're at least above canceling projects like Warner Brothers has. I have now been corrected, and I shall go for I shall now go to the corner for being stupid enough to give Disney credit.
Hype, you had no idea.
Don't forget your complimentary Mickey Mouse ears.
Joke's on you, I already have some.
Oh.
Curses, I have my Oswald one. So anyway, but no, okay, and I mean that in a nice way. You had no idea they were gonna do that out of the blue after announcing it like years ago,
and of course it had to be the one
bizarre.
Of course it had to be the one based on one of my favorite movies.
Right? Oh, apparently, we are still gonna get something at least.
So I guess, it goes to really show that making new content for a mostly treasure trove of a streaming service is not a very what's the word?
Good viable option.
It is not a viable option, and
They tried.
Streaming services are best as a treasure trove, not as something to shove all your new content in.
Which, speaking of quantity over quality, welcome back to Katamari Forever. This time, we're going on a shopping spree.
Oh boy, what are we shopping for?
Anything and everything. Basically anything that you can roll up that is relatively inexpensive, because we only have a 300,000 yen budget. Once you hit the cap, the mission is over.
I see. So basically, it's a
score attack.
Right, a score attack of sorts where you're basically aiming for as much cheap crap as you can find.
And there is a lot of cheap crap, but do not get complacent, because you get shit like that very fancy sundae and
Oh, a 200 yen salad, my goodness.
Man, talk about
that's only $2 in
talk about the most. I mean, let's also remember when this game initially came out. How much do you think that's going to cost now?
I don't even want to.
You have to account for inflation. But actually, the music is reminding me. Welcome also to probably like super close second, Everlasting Plus You, incredible mashup, love it. But welcome to probably my like very close second song in the game, Katamari on the Swing, the sexy synthesizer remix.
If I remember right, this song was actually used in Wii Ski on the Wii.
Really?
Huh.
It was one of the songs that you can listen to while riding the slopes, I think.
And it's just wacky because it's the Katamari Forever theme song, and it's
with Pac-Man sounds.
Yeah, with a huge like library of Namco sounds you'll hear.
Nice.
Like both from this bit of this, bit of Mappy, bit of everything.
Honestly, it's funny because whenever I think of Katamari on the Swing, for whatever reason, like your mileage may vary, but honestly, one of the versions I tend to remember the most is the one from, of all things, Tap My Katamari.
Ugh.
Very brain dead game, but I'll say for what it's worth, not a bad cover.
That game isn't a game. It's a money laundering scheme.
It's a cookie clicker knockoff. That's all.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's fair, but I'll give it a listen to. I'm curious about it.
I'm ashamed to admit that I actually spent money on that at one point.
Oh, you poor little sap.
You learn a lot of new things in these commentaries.
But that was when I was starting to get into like games that I could play on my phone. So
what sort of new things do you learn about Hype?
Well, for one thing, that there are a lot more Katamari games than I give the series credit for.
Oh yeah,
it's all
the series has been around since 2004. After all.
Mileage though definitely varies between those teams and the games they're in.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much, more or less, we've been covering pretty much all the good ones, and like apart from maybe Beautiful Katamari, which actually that can segue into another thing to talk about. But look at
it's Harvest! It's me! Well, actually, no, it's Harvest.
It's a frisky monkey.
Monkey.
A monkey.
Same difference.
Why am I rolling up these melons? They're expensive.
They're too expensive. We got a budget here.
Like
even though we haven't even clipped through a sixth of it, but
there is a way to sort of cheat at the rules for this stage. You could roll up living things, and they won't cost anything.
I mean, that's fair. That's like the.
You can't put a price tag on life.
Of course not.
Well, unless you get something from like an adoption center.
I was about to say, well, what if you want to own one as a pet?
Unless it's a farm.
Somebody brought up, I saw a tweet the other day, Hype, and it kind of... it's one of those moments of like, gosh, that ticks me off, but it really does look like it would make sense. If you like were to clap a helmet that like covers the top of his head on his head, John Cena could actually make a pretty solid like live action version of a soldier.
I guess it's just a matter of if he has any interest in it.
I don't know, but like the jawline and like basically just has to put on a gruffer voice, and he could basically be his character from the Transformers movie.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm of the opinion that he's a pretty good voice actor, so I could see him doing it.
It does make me realize all of a sudden, have we ever had a movie adaptation, or like a TV or movie adaptation of any of Valve's properties?
Not as far as I know.
Nope.
Like, the closest thing we ever have to that are all of the shorts that they made with the TF2 cast.
Yep, which did end up giving us the Source Filmmaker tool, which in and of itself kind of ushered in a whole new era of like indie animation, like creativity and stuff.
Oh yeah,
People
like
decided
no longer.
to move to Blender.
I was about to say, no longer did they have to worry about the rigid tendencies of the Gmod.
Yeah.
What do you mean
Blender's
rigid
origin-
tendencies? People still use that to make funny short films on YouTube.
Well, they do, but it's
Blend-
also a matter of like a lot of people did end up jumping ship, realizing, oh, this is so much better.
Right? Well, then the funny thing then, Hype, is that the Blender origin story is a lot weirder than the Source Filmmaker one was.
I imagine.
Why was it? Because
Anyway.
why was it put in the blender?
No,
They have
it
to
was
return
mainly.
to sender.
I'm going to just send this. Genuinely, part of the reason why Blender picked up and like became as like publicly commercially successful, if the story is to be believed, all I'm going to say is Overwatch animations.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that would
And that was genuinely the big reason that people, once they found access to those models,
Listen,
that was
as the
genuinely what kicked off Blender.
as the old saying goes, beep sells.
Yeah, apparently. But anyway, speaking of the other Katamari things I could segue from that is, first of all, would we ever see ourselves covering beautiful Katamari?
If it ever gets
It won't be
the,
me.
well, I mean, what if it ever gets the Unleashed recomp treatment?
Oh, ding, ding,
Oh.
ding, James! You've triggered the fancy funny word.
We
which is our
triggered the
new
magic
thing.
word.
And that's the password.
So basically, Ikki, you know the Sonic Unleashed. We were showing that off to you, right? The recomp thing earlier.
You've been showing it to me. My friend Mibu has been showing it to me. I've been
Perfect.
showing it a bunch.
Now shut up and sit down.
I get it. It's Sonic.
Get it. Shut up.
Also, you want to
but-
be really careful around these shelves because they hide some of the more expensive items, like right in between the bottles.
Don't you just hate that when someone's at a shopping center and,
And there's
they
like
don't
a
want- they-
trophy stuck in between the water. or
No,
the
in the
paper
sense of
towels.
that, in the sense of like a shopper was like, I don't even really want this, but they don't want to go back and put it back where they got it from, so they just kind
They
of
just
slip it amongst the peanut butter jars instead or
Oh,
something.
woe is the buyer's remorse.
Hey, don't be
Anyway.
that way. You know you've done it too.
Do we dare get that hard, Ikki?
No.
It'll be sudden. Your wallet will be an empty vacuum.
Don't break,
Anyway,
don't break our
It
heart
will,
now, Ikki.
it will vacuum out the void of space, leaving it like, I don't know, a vacuum?
But then,
True.
just- not gonna lie, I'm still wondering, like, where, like, how far, like, the whole recomp of 360 games can be pushed now that that's out on the
Exactly.
internet.
You know, I
right?
just
Because
imagine-
fun fact, Ikki. Oh yes.
I think it was around this point where I decided, you know what, bonsai, and just grab the heart.
Do
I
it.
Yeah, like
think.
I'll let you do your story, Logan. But real quick, since James brought that up, it did make me realize something that didn't occur to me until I thought a little bit more about it during the day. Proper PC port of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. The modding community can salvage that game at long last.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
Good. Because I can go to that story now. So Ikki, Unleashed recomp or whatever. Really
Yeah, what
really
about
fun fan project. But they also included something else in the code, if I'm correct. And I always do my math right. No, I don't know. Is they included
Says the guy who
tool-
forgot when World War II took place.
Well, that's history, not math.
I really was hoping that pause I did would have like stayed paused for a while. I'd be like, how did you know? But
Damn.
no, that was my.
Well,
that was
didn't
my
it
heart
take
for a
place
second.
in 2?
No, that was the second. Oh my god, it's a big gold bar. Anyway, so I guess that is one thing. Of course, I guess that is a strategy to be considered. Is like technically you can go in debt if you want. So you can just make sure that like you could have like 2 yen left and just grab a 30,000 one instead, and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they put it on credit.
So the the developers of that project, Ikki, also, if I'm correct, included the software tool that was developed to convert Xbox 360 software code into like easy to interpret PC C++ language. Ergo, this could open up the door to various other Xbox 360 ports to PC.
Right.
Okay.
Like if they use the same tools and kind of like compared to the different file systems, we could get a freaking Cameo Elements of Power PC port finally. We could get we could get a beautiful Katamari on PC. Like Hype said, we could get a Nuts and Bolts on PC, a actual Sonic 06 on PC that with all the hubs and everything, but maybe it could be fixed. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
honestly, I feel like at that point, like, as eventually...
Sorry, hold on to that thought though. The queen is
Final
up
big
to-
sale, 100% off.
Everything must go.
Well, she can't pass up a deal like that. Chelsea went on a little shopping trip with the princess helping. Oh, I got an apple.
Apple.
But you stepped in front of the prince.
Down I go.
That's a whole lot of presents.
Oh,
and an
hell,
elephant.
Everything must go.
He's like,
Not the not the sleepies though. You alright, Prince?
I just realized.
I failed.
Is that supposed to be a play on the white elephant gift?
Could
I
be,
didn't think
actually.
about it until now.
But
But that elephant
Nice.
was most definitely gray.
now, of course, Ikki is seeing a perfect opportunity to cosplay as the apple of his choice. We'll find Harvest. Where's Harvest?
Over
There's
there.
Harvest.
aw.
Look at him.
And by the way, Harvest is a girl.
Look at her.
Yes. She is an apple.
Ain't
She's
shit.
doing a monkey.
woman.
Oh, you're a fine-looking woman.
But I've got a brand new combine
harvester, and I'll give you
I got that song
I'm
stuck
so
in my
glad
head.
you guys listen.
Well, I was like, I knew the
Aw.
song, I just forgot that was part of the song.
I've never heard the song before. It's
Well,
really
now
fun.
you have.
It's like a drunken Irish jig, but mixed with a pirate shanty at the
But
same
it's the
time.
Wurzels.
No, I need to listen to them more. Anyway, another robot fan. Anyway, back to you, Hype, about the various like PC port or like the Xbox 360 stuff.
Right. Well, first off, just going back to the idea of like a proper PC port of Sonic 06, as neat as that would be, I feel like the very existence of PO6 has pretty much killed anyone's enthusiasm at properly revisiting 06.
I mean,
That
why
is
even bother at this point?
It would be neat if there's some way you could almost merge the two, where basically, because if I'm correct, PO6 is dedicated to only like actually touching the stages. Are they actually going to do anything about the hubs and like?
I don't know about
I
the
think
hubs.
like a
I-
replayable campaign.
I think
Speed
they.
pads everywhere.
I want to say they outright were going to try to recreate Sonic 06, like from front to back.
Because I would like that if you could just like play through the entire campaign. Otherwise, decent cutscenes like the FMV ones, not the in-engine ones that immediately drop off the quality like chart. But
Dude, that would be.
I-
I do wonder if that person's going to actually go out of their way to like reanimate all of those cutscenes.
Oh, I highly doubt it. Like, especially if it's just one person. Like, something like that would require a team.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
But,
Alright,
uh,
I really like
oh,
the
yeah.
music in this stage.
dancing all night.
Dancing All Night RoboKing mix.
Aww.
It's
Interesting.
very nice. Also,
yeah,
I just saw
otherwise
the
just
present box
oh.
over there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we can keep talking. As you see, it's a typical get as big as you can stage. Your common
Yeah,
meat
no
and potatoes.
frills. But we got
Katamari.
Velvet!
Hey, Velvet.
Which, as a reminder, her legs are a separate entity from her torso and everything beyond that.
How does she communicate with them?
I don't know. They're her legs.
Oh, there you go.
Whee!
But those are big fish. But yeah,
They're
no,
squid!
okay, so fair enough. Maybe not PO6, but then yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what would be. I mean, Generations would be completely redundant.
Well, Generations is also already on PC.
Exactly, yeah. Let me look up best Xbox 360 games. If you get a PC port out of it. Again, I would like to see Nuts and Bolts done in such a way that they could, like, fix it, some stuff up.
Yeah.
I gotta be completely honest. When it comes to, like, the best Xbox 360 games, the only genre of games I can think of for that game, because I never owned an Xbox, The only genre of game I could imagine being on like everybody's top 10 Xbox games list just being first-person shooters.
Yeah.
I know that's like a stereotype, but that's honestly that's honestly all I can think about when I think of Xbox 360.
I mean, it very much was that.
Or just
It's
Xbox
the console that
that was
popularized it, I'd argue.
I mean, yeah, that was definitely demographic.
I mean, like, to be fair, like, I don't think it has to be, excuse me, I don't think it has to be, like, exclusive to, like, Xbox exclusives, because, like, to be fair, like, Sonic Unleashed wasn't a 360 exclusive. It could just extend to any big game that hasn't had a proper PC port that just happened to have been on the 360.
Of course.
True.
Right. I
Also,
mean,
I
I guess it's just also hard to just figure out because for the most part, I guess it's just hard to really figure out because a good lot of the stuff people will recognize from the 360 are mostly third-party titles or stuff that's already been reported from like to hell and back in the past 10 years.
Right. There's only like there are, I would say, a couple of exclusives I would like to see if I had like a little wish list, of course, which I absolutely don't have a wish list already prepared just in front of me over here.
Hell, if I can be perfectly honest, I think there's more you can get out of recomping like the original Xbox titles as opposed to Xbox 360.
Well, I mean,
Which,
for that, go ahead.
I was about to say,
No, go for it.
With the technology you have now, couldn't you technically go ahead and do that?
Well, we have Xenia, so there is emulation of Xbox. That's how I'm going to hopefully do future.
Well, Xenia in massive air quotes, unless you're talking about Zimu, which is like the original Xbox
Zimu.
emulator.
Oh, right. Sorry, Xenia is 360. My bad. Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
meant
no,
like
that's the crappy one.
I just meant like
Gotcha.
with that technology that they discovered that actually lets you turn like 360 titles into like C++ coding. Like, would it be that big of a leap to apply that to like original Xbox games as well?
It might require a little extra tinkering to make work.
But I could see a potential for that, especially if they were available on the Xbox Live Marketplace.
Like honestly, we'll know for sure if we ever get like a recomp of like say I don't know, Links to Time Sweeper.
That would be wild. So here are the games that I would like to see them try to do a PC port of if they would ever want to like go that route. Number one, I don't think we ever got, because we got Missplosion Man, but I don't know if we ever got one for the original Explosion Man.
Is it like
Steam and stuff.
additional ports? No, I think it's only stuck on the 360.
Well,
So
isn't
original
the joke
Explosion Man
with
would
that is like it's like Pac-Man versus Miss Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Miss Pac-Man was the improved version of the game.
Honestly, yeah, and
yeah,
it had
that's the entire
co-op and
point.
stuff. But then another one would be honestly Viva Pinata.
Ugh.
If not the entire Rare Replay collection, actually. now we're
Honestly,
on
yeah,
that
like all the
matter.
360 titles through the Rare Replay, I'd like to see get recomped.
Agreed. What else?
I break out in hives anytime someone mentions Viva Pinata.
You don't like Viva Pinata?
The only thing I could think of when I think of that is the fucking Dan Green horse.
Oh yeah.
Cartoon.
I mean, well,
That
yeah,
showed up
but
in
you
all
don't have.
the advertisements and completely turned me away from that series.
We don't have to think about that.
But
think about
my
it.
brain is poisoned. With
If
the-
it makes
with
you
the-
feel better, they do not talk at all apart from saying their own names like Pokemon in the game itself. It's actually pretty relaxing
my
gardening.
brain is poisoned. There's no way reversing it.
4 kids poisoned my family, Logan.
Okay, well, what else? Okay, we already
They
mentioned.
poisoned the water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a Yu-Gi-Oh onto our houses.
Okay,
What
we
the
already
fuck
mentioned
was that?
a Hayatoko mask. I don't
No,
know. we already.
I thought someone just shouted "Viva Pinata."
You're going
You can tell
crazy.
you can tell I'm having a long day, huh?
Aw.
Aw.
It's just
Yeah,
one of those days.
It's a
I already-
long entire day.
Yeah, I already mentioned. Nice. Yeah, I already mentioned Cameo because I think Cameo is a pretty neat idea from them.
I forget, was Voodoo Vents Xbox exclusive?
It
It was until. Good.
No, I was just saying, it used to be.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it used to be until there was a remaster that was released on Steam,
Okay, never mind.
and I was very happy about that. What else?
Did the original Psychonauts ever get reported?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's on Steam as well. Now,
I think you could
one,
get that on PS3 as well.
I think so. Now, one potentially divisive thing, but I'm thinking about just because I've been trying to play it lately, and it's been like really rough. Is if they ever wanted to do a PC port, okay, here's where it gets like here's where it gets a little like finicky. So it's American McGee's Alice Madness Returns, the sequel. So that did have a PC release on Steam, but it was then like delisted a while back. I think it's been relisted, but basically here's the thing. The original developers are like long gone, they're canned. The guy tried to do an Indiegogo Patreon thing to do a prequel, and that ultimately went nowhere, so I hope nobody like put a lot of money into that and wanted to.
Is American McGee the guy's full name?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a stage name, you know how it is.
Who names their kid American?
I don't know who names their kid America Chavez.
Well, I was about to say, there's not even just a fictional character. I think there is like a real-life actress named America Ferrera.
So, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Same with, like, Hope and Peace. But anyway.
You there, America! You're wrong!
What country is this?
Manhattan.
It's really confusing. Anyway, so let's see where we're going with this. So, the problem is that when the original game was released, like, EA has never wanted like to do much support for that game at all. So like it has been in version 1.0 since day one. No updates, no patches, no like quality of life improvements. If this technology could be used on the Xbox 360 release to give it better frame rate and better stability like on like modern PCs, I would find that I would appreciate that. Let's go wild and let's say Bomberman Act 0.
God.
I mean, hey, if people are willing to improve Sonic 06, I don't see why Bomberman should be left out.
I mean, hey, we're getting Shadow Labyrinth. What more do we need?
I mean, I guess it would be interesting. Only problem is that game is boring as dirt, so I don't know if there's really much merit.
Well, that's where the modders
so.
can come in, James.
Yeah, fair. You can just turn into an actual Bomberman game.
With actual bombers and men.
What else? Maybe Blue Dragon? I think Blue Dragon's still exclusive to it.
I believe so.
I remember when that got an anime on Cartoon Network.
Oh, how was it?
I don't remember anything about it.
Oh, you know what? I just thought of,
Hey, Twinkle.
Actually, I think it might be rendered mute because of the rare replay, but then again, yeah, people can surprise us. Going back to the idea of using this technology for, like, original Xbox titles, grabbed by the Ghoulies.
Ugh.
Well, that would hopefully be part of the rare replay if we can manage to get that sucker working.
Well, I just mean the notion of, like, you know, taking it up, giving it some, you know, quality of life improvements. Basically everything that you mentioned for American McGee's Alice.
Oh, that's true. That's fair.
I think you'd have to remake the game from the ground up at that point.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe they can. They've done weirder things before, but
do they want to?
But ultimately, yes, James does bring up the point that unless it's like a couple of like very few like exclusives, and a lot of them have like niche within niche fan bases like to begin with.
Matryoshka niches.
Probably actually.
I mean,
otherwise, a lot of the games are already released like on Steam and other areas as well.
And I mean, I guess it should also be said, like with Sonic Unleashed, it's a miracle that it happened in the first place, because that's like the one major Sonic game currently that does not have a PC release.
Right.
Which is so baffling, especially now that the fans literally just did it for Sonic Team for free.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the fan base does a lot of shit for free for Sonic, so...
Oh, Ikki, tell the story of this song.
Oh, apparently this is like a high school brass band compilation of all of the big themes from the first game.
And
I actually really enjoy it.
And they just flat out put it in the game.
Huh.
Yeah. Though I don't know if
sense.
it's like an actual like school performance of the entire soundtrack. It could just be the title.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, if you can tell, this mission's from Katamari. Well, we heard Katamari.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon.
And I guess just to bring the conversation right back to it is that I would not be against if they were to do a PC port of a beautiful Katamari.
Okay, but in that case, you can play it because I'm honestly not a fan.
You're not a fan of beautiful?
Again, I've never played it.
Well,
And I've heard that.
How
I've also heard that it's just kind of mid for Katamari standards.
It just exists. Kind of in the same way that this game just exists.
Kind of the way that Touch My Katamari exists.
I'm
Listen,
not just naming yours.
Listen, let's not kid ourselves. If we're for the jump button, the only good
Homunculus.
Katamari
Oh, hey,
games
it's
are...
Taro from... Sorry,
Here.
my brain just, like, jumped to Dandadan, so...
No, it's Huey and but yes, I know what you're talking about the freaking guy who like
The fucking
runs,
guy
runs,
who
runs,
keeps screaming all of his lines.
and always must run.
Oh, one more person.
But
He
anyway,
even takes
continue,
public
James.
transit in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
All I was
No
going
big
to
deal.
say is that if it
There you are!
Never mind.
No, okay, now it's up to you. Sorry, we just grabbed that thing. Continue.
That thing is a girl with angel wings.
Sorry, that running like miscreant.
Hot wings.
I'm mostly jesting. The most I was going to say is that the only good Katamari games are the first 2 games.
Dang.
I mean,
Well-
according to the guy who originally made the series, yeah.
Suppose that's fair.
But that's because that's where all the heart was. This is just sloppy second. Like, for the most part, this game's just, like, it's nice that, people on the PS3 can play it and that there's a jump button, but otherwise it's really just sloppy seconds.
Not really.
Damn.
I think it's still a really good Katamari game.
Well, then how would you know that Beautiful Katamari is not as good a game as it?
Because I heard it's mid! And I
Well,
don't have Expo.
Maybe,
And I mean, to be
maybe
fair,
the
how
PC
often
thing-
do you hear people talk about this game, too?
Katamari Forever.
I talk about it.
That's fair.
So, I
okay.
mean, my point exactly. Don't knock it till you try it, Ichabod.
Who the fuck is Ickerbot and why do you keep quoting him?
Ichabod Crane.
Because that's exactly that's exactly what you are, Ichabod.
No, it isn't.
Damn. Forget the gloves are coming off this.
I don't even
section.
take offense to it. That's just incorrect.
Incorrect.
It's just
anyway.
dumb.
I mean, when you really think about it, Ikki's also incorrect.
No,
I
it's
like
not.
Ikki.
He totally
Angel-
is.
You take that back.
It is on my birth certificate and everything.
I thought.
Here,
no,
I even have the
no,
proof
Look,
slip.
I'm here. I'm reading it right now. It says.
Shut up!
Goof.
You better censor that. I don't want
Alrighty,
I don't want the word getting out.
Listen,
What, it's your last name? It's
we
your
have
Goof?
brought that name up multiple times.
Yeah,
There's
it's
nothing to
private.
censor.
Not for the
No.
internet to hear.
I'll cap just in case. I'll cover it. I'll cover it.
Ikki,
Don't
do
worry.
I need to pinpoint the
Let
exact
the audience decide.
Do I need to pinpoint that exact moment in our Pac-Man World 2 commentary where I literally we out loud said Max Goof?
Where the fuck was that? No, when the fuck was that?
In the woods, when you were talking about that time when you got that call from GameStop about Super Mario Galaxy, rated M for mature.
Oh yeah.
Wait, was that
Oh,
during
okay,
World 2?
okay.
Because I thought he also mentioned that in the Galaxy playthrough proper.
There was that too,
Yeah, it was
but
rated
I
M for
also
Mario.
but I also remember that story also being brought up in Pac-Man World 2.
But yeah, can I just
That was
say I'm
ages ago,
amused
man.
by the fact that James was just up and ready to really dog Ikki like that.
Dogs.
I don't. Docs. No, but I don't think we.
Hey, listen, I didn't give out his full name. I just gave out a goofy alias.
a goof. Again, I don't
But
think.
true.
Again, yeah. Again, don't worry. I don't think we're gonna we would not have done that otherwise. So.
Right.
No one will know he's actually Max Pete.
Hey, lonely, hey, lonely rolling star, no more. I like this one as well.
This is a really nice one.
It's a really chill cover. And then okay, and I also just noticed another one. Yes, it's a first-person shooter game, but I'm curious: was Perfect Dark Zero ever released on something other than 360?
As far as I'm concerned, no. It was only on 360.
Oh, so it wasn't part of the rare replay either?
No, it was on the rear replay, but I was like, it was. Again, the whole thing about the rear replay is that it was packaged with a whole lot of games, but a good half of them were just a download ticket for the 360 versions of those games.
Gotcha.
Also, your eyes do not deceive. We have to roll up 800 meters worth.
Jeez. Of stuff.
We got
Yeah.
a ways to go then.
You know
But
Something that just real quick, something that just occurred to me since we're talking about these fan-made PC ports of whatnot. Considering that we've already had it done with Mario 64, and as far as I know, someone's currently working on it with Zelda. How long do you think it'll take before fans make a proper PC version of Banjo-Kazooie?
I would want
Give
one
it time.
badly. I know.
I'm sure as of this moment, someone's currently halfway done with it.
Personally speaking, I would
Santa.
prefer a PC port of Banjo 2.
Well, why
on.
not? Why not both?
Because Banjo
the
2
debate.
needs it more.
Wow, the debate.
Well,
continues.
Banjo-Kazooie, I think,
both-
could use it just as much.
Why?
Fellas,
It's already a
fellas.
really solid. It's already a rock solid N64.
Fellas.
Yeah, but you can make it
Fellas,
even more solid. You can make it even more solid. Make it like the 360 version, where you don't
The
have to worry
360
about.
version already exists. Just
Yeah,
build
but you
that
got
to PC.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you know what? With that recon tangent we were just having, they could.
And fellas, what I would love, like my dream for like handling anything with the banjo or the bird of Ku or Tu, what I would love to see
Zoo
is
or
if-
two.
Zoo or Tu. What I would love to see. Oh,
Bird.
there's the chorus. What I would like to see, like someone do, is I would love if somebody could actually like make the idea of stop and swap, like in its like original, like how they wanted it to be done, like work out. Where basically like in one PC download, you have both Kazooie and Tooie loaded at the exact same time, so that when you go inside Gruntilda's like, you know, big mug in Tooie, you are just straight up just loading into the world of Kazooie to go through and see all the levels again.
Which would be nice.
Just to have like just basically give you an even larger world. Even like, I would love if they could somehow pull that off. The last I heard was that another project being worked on was a Star Fox 64 PC port.
Oh, and that did happen.
Oh, that did happen? Okay.
Yeah, I remember
Starship.
seeing that.
So yeah, let me look that up to see if anyone's doing something for Banjo Kazooie.
Whee!
Listen, Logan, Mecha streamed that for us a couple times.
Check that out.
He did, didn't he?
3 sizes up in
One
like
heart.
one.
Damn.
Nice. So about 2 months ago, oh wow, there's actually a question. About 2 months ago, a few months ago, basically, somebody did put out an announcement that Banjo-Kazooie had been fully decompiled. Which means we're like basically like, I mean, I cannot speak to any sort of percentage of we're halfway there. No, basically though, the first major step is done. They've decompiled all the data down to its like core elements. Now comes the trickier part of, you know, putting the pieces back together in a different coding language that can still function and resemble the game that we know. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Once they can do that, Ikki, then we could have a PC port of Kazooie, and I imagine they want to start with Kazooie so that, because, you know, it's a lot simpler than Tooie, like engine-wise, and then they can work their way up from there. And then, honestly, at that point, I'd be up. I want to see someone do something for DK64 then.
I mean, that one I honestly think deserves it the most, just because, you know, as Tag Anywhere has proven, you can fix that game to make it probably one of the best rare N64 game ever.
Absolutely.
You know what?
And
Let's not even stop there. Let's shoot for the heavens. Recompiled Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yes, please.
I actually would not be. I don't know how much they can do, but I would not mind an easier way to play that game.
You know, the moment that treatment gets given to Diddy Kong Racing, or if it ever gets put on the NSO, I'm just gonna be screaming monkey noises.
It's true. We will be there with the recorder, getting that for
Imagine
posterity.
Diddy Kong Racing 8.
Hey, he needs about 6 more sequels before we get to 8.
Well, we got
That'll be fun.
the DS one, so that counts for like what, 3 sequels?
Does it though?
Does it?
No.
I was just took it as a needless interval.
But yeah, we mentioned, and honestly, granted, it was a mod. It was a mod thanks to the Archipelago version of Tooie I've been running. But like, again, I even think like there's ways you can fix Tooie, in my opinion, such as that ability that once you like unlock Mumbo or Humba, like you can just, with the press of a D-pad button, you can just immediately swap. Hey, Phoenix, you can immediately swap. You can immediately swap to your transformation or Mumbo ability. It just things to cut back on the backtracking, I think, is what that game needed to like be like fully like, smoothed out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, stages like Cloud Cuckoo Land and
Pterodactyl Land
Industries
especially can suck.
yeah, it's pretty great. But I just know that there are definitely ways that could go around this. And
It's a matter of like there was ambition in that game, but they were also clouded. They also clouded their sense of what's the word? It's like
focus.
They sacrificed
Their sense of fun.
Well,
I don't know about that.
I mean, they sacrificed convenience for
For complexity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like the idea that like look how big and look how like it honestly in some cases it kind of like was a warning of the future of like what many Ubisoft designed games kind of became, where it's like look at how massive this overworld is, and it's like, okay, well, what can you do in the overworld? Well, you can walk over to that. You can walk over to that corner where this thing happens.
Banjo-Tooie tried to warn us of the future.
Kind of. I'm thinking like Pterodactyl Land, like one of Ikki's biggest complaints, which I can understand, is how vast it is, but like how ultimately empty a lot of it is. Like it looks
no,
big,
that's
but
not how I put it at all.
Why did you complain about it?
What I don't like about Pterodactyl Land is that it's click-clock wood on crack in the sense that the entire level is centered around one big mountain, right?
Yes.
Actually climbing that mountain and getting to the top, at least the first time, is a nightmare without save states, because it is so stupidly easy to just fall off and, you know, make way with the pavement.
I shouldn't get that much difficulty out of that
I
part.
did. Plus, like, the way up is confusing as shit for me.
I mean, I was about to say, like, my biggest problem with Pterodactyl Land, by the way, yeah, it's called Pterodactyl Land.
Pterodactyl Land.
No, it's Pterodactyl Land.
It's pterodactyl.
I looked it up. It was Pterodactyl Land. I even tried to type it as you said it, and it said Pterodactyl Land.
Hydrocity Zone.
Hydro
Honestly,
City.
I think that's what we're looking at here, is that it's Pterodactyl.
The point
Land,
is,
but it
it's
could be
confusing as shit.
Agreed. I agree. My complaint about that level is probably kind of boils down to the T-Rex transformation, where you get it and you think, wow, this is gonna be like really cool and like a big.
You
like,
could just screen nuke
form.
everything as the big T-Rex. Well, except that you only use it for literally one hit.
2 Jiggies, Jinjo and a Jiggy.
Alright, you have to scare away the caveman.
We scare away the caveman, and then you jump on a big switch, and then you transform into the little one, and the little one you just do. Again, it's very much like a star-studded, like, wow, look at how all these cool things, but then like in practice, I could see myself like playing Banjo-Kazooie, like for the tightness of like Mumbo's Mountain and Gobi's Valley. Well, maybe not Gobi's Valley, Mad Monster Mansion, perhaps. Again, PC ports could be a very fun way in the future, and genuinely 5 years ago, I never would have thought that we could actually like have a fully functioning like playable version of Sonic Unleashed before comprehensive GameCube stuff on the Switch. Finally.
You know what kind of fix I would like out of Banjo-Kazooie Recompiled, actually? It just came to my mind. For Rusty Buckabay with the infamous engine room, what if instead of a bottomless pit, it just takes away 1 honeycomb of damage and warps you back to the beginning of the room?
I mean, yeah, that'd be a whole lot better.
Only because it's so easy to die in it.
You know, another thing I think they can do, I don't know if it would like have any massive impact on the design of the game, remove the concept of finite lives.
I would like that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. The original Banjo-Kazooie really didn't need a live system, and that's kind of the reason why the sequel got rid of it completely.
Yep. Just restart from the start, from the where you load into
like
a level.
honestly, like aside from that, what Ikki just mentioned, and again carry over how the notes work in
a little ghosty on my head.
Aw. But yeah, like aside from those 2 bits, and again reworking the notes so that they act like they do in the Xbox Live version, I think those are the only really big things I would say need to be fixed about Kazooie.
Yeah.
Pretty solid otherwise.
Also, I would say between both you, I mean, I wouldn't say it's as necessary for Kazooie, but both it and Tooie I think could help. Like if they input like a map system.
Mm-hmm. Like a mini-map would be really nice.
Yeah, a mini-map or even a bigger map you can toggle with like select or something.
I will say that's actually another nice accomplishment.
Which, you know what? I'm very happy that the upcoming Yuka Replayly is going to have something like that now. And also fast travel points.
Brotherly love, actually.
I'm pretty sure that was a movie.
Help me!
Wow, look at the oversized meese. Ooh.
Oh.
Ow.
All grown up now.
Nah, I'm not even close to being in your league.
You're just looking out for us. I know that. Oh, we're not that far away.
He's looking through the wrong end.
The Jumbo Legacy. What? Jojo?
I shall save the papa.
What the?
It's a
Oh,
rat.
the mouse caught it. Mouse crawled in
The rats.
And with that,
They're the rats. Oh,
note,
grape.
now it's a big grape thing.
It's a bunch of grape.
Its own little Katamari in the sky is forming.
What sort of story are these people trying to tell?
You'll see
The
in
story
due
of
time.
Jumbo-ness.
And if you believe it or not, that will actually be on the test at some point later.
Yeah, you
Now
got it.
it's
Oh
time-
no, not this again.
You didn't promise.
Bring
You didn't
it.
say we were going to have to do a test.
No.
Eh.
Ikki's gonna do it just right before he gets back into the world of
Yeah,
Weird
because
Heart.
I don't like going camping. It's dark and stinky up there.
They're bears.
All right. The bears. Now, yeah, no, I that's actually another thing I've been really appreciating about doing this archipelago is I was introduced to the world of pop trackers, which using memory like values and stuff basically allows me to track where I am with the archipelago. But what becomes very useful about it, honestly, just for any game, is it tracks what I have found and where I found it and where I can find other things. So it basically allows me to play Banjo-Tooie with a minimap.
It comes up with like a little mini map of Glitter Gulch Mine, if I remember right.
You know, I think another
and then it'll show squares. And
Another thing, just going back to the archipelagos and how I think it could go into like helping a recompiled Tui. I want to say the archipelago did this. You mentioned it. I might be thinking of something else, but the fact that it actually add in a bunch of grunty tots into it, which honestly is one of my personal problems that I have with the Tui, in a sense of like, while I appreciate their attempts at trying to make Gruntilda a bit more of an intimidating threat, it's the fact that after she zombifies King Jingling, she pretty much just up and disappears until the end of the game.
Unless she's narrating something that Banjo or Kazooie are doing.
Well, even then,
Well,
like,
yeah, like, she's the
even
host
then,
of the
like, I
game.
think between that and the final boss, I think she only gets like one other time she gets to say anything, and it's like the instructions for like a mini game. But aside from that, she just up and vanishes into thin air for a majority of the game, which I feel like does kind of take out one of the elements about Grunty that did make her so iconic in the first game, was the fact that she was just like verbally just hounding you guys as you're exploring her mansion.
With
Also,
fun
I get
rhymes too.
Honestly, I just think it's funny because the more I stop and think about it, Tui kind of blew its load way too early with all the shit happening at the beginning.
Honestly, you raise a good point. Yeah, like the jingling thing, I think would have been much more impactful if it happened like mid-game. Like maybe if you were going back to talk to him and stuff, and like grow to like him as a character of like a person helping you on your journey, and then he gets up and zombified and his pet incinerated.
Right, because after that point, the suck blow machine never gets used ever again.
When I was
Right?
little, I didn't even register that his pet turned into a pile of ash. I thought it was just
well.
like a pair of eyes and a great blob.
There's just somebody out there trying to like spread peace, but yeah, no, it's just there are ways that it can be done.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What's up? Whoa!
So I know I'm gonna date this part, but you guys remember how there's a Minecraft movie coming out?
Yeah.
And how
Yes.
there's merchandise leaks all over the fucking place?
Yeah.
Oh, there's merch leaks?
They made a little book adaptation, and
Oh, so we get to see what the story. So people already knowing what the story's probably going to be.
yeah, and look at this.
Let me click on this. Let me click on recording. Let me see what's about to happen. Please.
This
let it
was
be
a
like...
Minecraft was a mistake.
Oh.
Everything
Well, I'm not
about
gonna say-
everything.
I mean, I'm not gonna say Minecraft is a mistake, because, you know, it has its place in the gaming community. It's just that this movie doesn't recognize that.
Movie adaptations are a mistake.
His name is actually going to be General. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, he
I
is
just-
a General Chungus after all.
I just can't wait for the. I just can't wait for the. I want to see where that goes. I want to see the awkward plot of.
You just want to see how bad
like,
it gets.
Well, I want to see the. Oh my gosh! Look at them all in their chairs.
Oh,
They're
I
all
wanna
going
see
into the corners.
No, I want to see the. I want to see the awkward as hell plot of a grown woman falling in love with a square villager.
Honestly, I'm
Why?
genuinely
wanna see
curious
how
to find
bad
out,
it
like,
gets.
I just really want to know who exactly this film is made for, because it's clear it's not made for Minecraft fans, and
It's
I feel
made
like
for
it might
kids.
be too out there enough to appeal to like casual people. So I'm like, who are they hoping to attract with this?
Kids.
Dumb kids.
Yeah.
Just to clarify,
kids
they're
get-
hoping- they're
This
hoping-
is This is the same mentality that almost screwed the Sonic movieverse.
Yep. It's actually remarkable that they're doing this when we already live in the universe where they got to see what could have been with the original Mario trailer. And went off by 31 centimeters.
Original Mario trailer.
Wait, what was the original?
Sorry,
Mario?
original Sonic trailer. Sorry.
Okay.
Listen, I know the initial takes from Chris Pratt weren't that good, but still, I think that's kind of overblowing it.
To this day, he's never stopped a Koopa or a Goomba in his life.
The man never stopped a Koopa.
Koopas!
In his life.
I imagine he was just gonna say turtle, but then he was like, "Oh no, wait, that's not what they're called."
Yeah, like you know damn well that man's never played a Mario game in his life up to that point.
Perhaps.
Okay,
but...
so I gotta be honest. It kind of feels like a Mandela effect to me. Did he really say it like that? Like, I've been smashing Koopas? Like,
yeah,
just
there was a
pause. In between.
pause.
Did he really do that?
Yeah,
Yes,
he did say that. There was a whole video of it and everything.
Yeah, it was
and
part of
one of my favorite.
I think it was like announcing like the second trailer where they were like, no wait, it was announcing the first trailer because it had like a bit of like him and then a bit of Jack Black talking about his role, and it really is just one of those things where it's like, clearly one of these two actually knows what a Mario is.
One of my favorites was a meme which was unedited, other than adding the effects on top. Okay, I realize that's a rather redundant way of saying it, but somebody did a video, Ikki, where it was his announcement, but edited like a Sonic Unleashed QuickTime event that had to happen.
Oh Jesus
like,
Christ!
I've been stomping, ding ding, woo, feeling good, Koopas. And...
But anyways, here we have the campfire mission again, and
Hooray.
Interestingly enough, they use a wood texture for this level as opposed to the usual sketchbook.
I like that. And
I
with
mean,
the
it makes sense
jumpability,
because you know it's a campfire and you're rolling up stuff to make wood.
Also, I guess it's funny because the more I would look at this, like prior to you actually starting the level, it looks like the fire already did its job.
Yeah, well, this isn't the campfire; it's the thing on top of the hill that is.
Yeah, but everything else scorched up. But yeah, again, with the jumpability, I think we're gonna be a-okay.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Let's see where we're going with this. So that would be one idea I would like. Then, the Minecraft movie. I don't know exactly what it's for. It's just probably gonna. I think it's
gonna be a disaster.
It's gonna pass like a wet fart.
Provided it doesn't do well enough in the box office.
My prediction is this. At best, I feel like it's going to be like the Angry Birds movie, where it's going to come out like years later than it ever had any relevancy to do so. Like,
and people are going to find merit with the sequel as opposed to the original.
If that, because the Angry Birds 2 I heard was still not like really good, but like it was at least better writing.
I heard that the guy who made Cow and Chicken worked on that movie.
It wasn't Cow and Chicken, it was Flapjack, I believe.
Oh, Thurb Van Orman.
Ah, interesting.
Okay. But I thought David Weiss had a hand in it somewhere.
I mean, he might have, for all I know. I just know that it was the Flapjack person that I know was the main director of it.
Yes, and he is a funny person. And here's where I kind of overshoot my load. I think.
Well, I think I edited around those moments.
Did you?
I did my best to keep things nice and to an hour at most. Otherwise, we would have been here for at least 3 to 4 more hours more.
Yeah, it's just rolling up firewood. Remember, in the siege, you can't roll up living things only because, hey, you're a ball of fire.
And be careful on the wet grass and be careful in the water.
It's not that the grass is wet, it's that it will cool down the Katamari faster than letting it just rolling around on the dirt.
Makes sense. Well, I'm trying to think what else.
Careful,
I can tell you.
Also, if you remember, if you touch the water at all, you fail the mission.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a mushroom cousin.
Yeah, it's Kinoko.
Let's burn him alive.
Cool.
But,
which, by the way, Kinoko is a girl.
Aww. But
that's
right.
Having no face for a mushroom.
But that's right. Then I can also tell you, James, about the Omega Mart thing I'm going to go and try and check out this weekend.
Oh yeah, what is that exactly?
Well, I need. First of all, I'm hoping to get tickets. We didn't want to get tickets yet because we're waiting to see if there's any panels we're doing. But Honestly, I should probably text my friend to see if I can get those tickets now, just to hope that we have the time to. Anyway, so Meow Wolf is a company that specializes in making interactive, like, fictional experiences.
Oh, here we go!
That was a close one.
I'm just expecting it.
And so the Omega Mart one, it's all a fictitious, like, think of it almost like a participating in a role-playing session sort of thing, almost, where you're not role-playing, don't worry about that. But, like, so the whole thing begins with you're going into, like, what looks like a typical, like, gas station supermarket. But then you start looking at all the products and you're like, wait, no, this is weird.
This isn't normal.
Why is this a spray bottle and it's called Sleep, and you just and it just shows a mother spraying her kid as he falls asleep with this spray bottle? Why are they selling what appears to be a frickin' mac and cheese ball?
Like, I thought you were about to say mac and me ball.
No, not mac and me. I wouldn't put it past them,
yes.
But basically, it's a ball the size of, like, a medicine ball at, like, the gym, but it's just wrapped up in its mac and cheese, or it looks like mac and cheese, to be, like, ready to cook and stuff. You'll have, like, the soap bottles, like the detergent, you know, like laundry detergent, but then when you look at the bottle closer, you realize, no, why at the bottom, why does it look like it has 4 legs like a brontosaurus? And that's the soap bottle.
Oh,
like,
fuck.
Little things like why do the limes peels have zippers on them? Little weird oddities like
why are the refrigerator doors blurring across the wall?
Right, like stretched and warped.
And why does this loaf of bread have 2 eyes?
And why is this clerk's legs comprised of the 7 chaos symbols?
Oh wait, that's Kanjin, not Omega Mart.
Yeah, that's true. So basically, eventually you're going through it, and everything is like appearing warped and distorted, and
imagine the Big Bath if it were a supermarket.
And then you go to, honestly, yeah, a bit like a liminal space a bit from Anton. But then you go to, then like you'll go to like the employee break room, and you'll see some lockers, and you're like, okay, well, let's see. Oh, dance time. And you'll see the lockers, and one of the lockers will have a bunch of gunk like leaking out of it, but solid, of course. And so you open it, like, that's curious. And when you open the locker, there's just a door handle inside. And you pull the door handle, and suddenly the entire wall of lockers, or at least that chunk, opens up, and now there's like a secret sci-fi like government facility and stuff. And then you're learning about like, it basically it's more so just like, there's nothing to really learn. There's nothing to like follow apart from an interesting like fictitious plot about like alien like matter that is like apparently trying to be siphoned and used to create products, hence the Omega Mart. And you can like learn all this stuff. It is neat in and of itself, I think, of like basically like having a sci-fi, almost like, I don't know, Silent Hill, Black Mirror, like Twin Peaks kind of like vibe, but one that you get to go in and like you're not ever like, I think, explicitly told this is what's going on. Like you're free to discover what's going on at your own pace. But
and at one point, I think there's like a laundry machine that opens up into like a rainbow slide.
I think so, yeah. And then you go down the slide. All right. It looks like the Queen has a new idea to check out some fireworks.
Or, you know, she's just bored and doing things.
She made a big one.
Ooh. Toss it up high.
Whee!
Into the cannon. Kobe. Oh no.
Oops.
Prince.
Oh no, Dory. Uh-oh.
Hi, Dad.
His last words.
Yeah, there's crispy bacon and shrimp.
Hey, not even a scratch.
Still fast asleep. But he's gonna miss the fireworks show.
Prince, are you alright? Where are you? He didn't even appear in that one.
The prince was never heard from again.
That's unfortunate.
He's with the stars now.
I was kind of expecting that there would at least be like a Mario, a Mario Odyssey-esque like firework of the prince going off. Like,
I mean, you did see his colors for a brief bit.
I suppose that's true then.
I really want to get the wig accessory in this, but I don't think I get it during this playthrough.
I don't think so.
What is the wig accessory exactly?
It gets your player character hair. And I like the hairstyle they give Harvest.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't remember which stage gave that to us. Look, a survival bag, a horsey.
A horsey.
Yeah. Well, back at it again. You know how we do it. But yeah.
Well, back to the old grind.
Yeah, I know Meowth has done several.
And this time we're making it as large as possible.
Oh dear. Wait, is this it? We finally at the final Make a Star 10?
No.
Oh, okay. Got me scared there for a second. But yeah, Meowth, I want to see like some of their other exhibits because they have some all across the country, I believe.
Do they have anything in New York?
Let's see. The events that they do, unfortunately, doesn't look like it. They have one in Houston, Texas. They have one in.
That's so far away, and it's Texas.
Called Radio Tave. They have another one in Texas called The Real Unreal. They have one in Denver, Colorado called the Convergence Station.
Ooh. Oh man, we're in Katamari Damacy territory again, and it's this map.
I remember
know exactly what we're doing
this
here.
one right here, James. I remember this was the one that I think I left for an hour, and Ikki was still like redoing this one.
Yeah.
This one's a pretty strict one.
For some reason, it's harder here than it is in Damacy, and I don't know why.
Is it because they clutter too much?
No, it's because it's a Damacy map.
Well, do you think? But do you think it's because like the item placement is different, or?
I don't know what it is.
I mean, you just said it yourself. Like, you say it's bad because of the Damacy level, but you also then said it's better at Damacy. So, like, make up your mind. What's so bad about it here?
I don't know.
It could be the physics or time. Maybe is the time at all changed?
Maybe. I remember it being 12 minutes long.
Very interesting. Ow. Other one. Poor rat. The other one I found, there's also one called the House of Eternal Ruin in New Mexico.
Oh.
And, of course, Omega Mart in Las Vegas, where I'm going to be heading. And I think that's all the ones they have. They also have one in Los Angeles, but I don't know which one that is.
So, what are they? Most of their attractions like situated in the West Coast?
Am I going crazy, or is the timer double speed for this stage?
Maybe? I
don't think so. I'll just time it. But
unless this doesn't seem like the kind of level where hitting a certain incorrect obstacle will make the time drain faster.
No, it doesn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're going crazy. You're okay. Don't worry.
No, I'm not okay because I'm going crazy.
Not Ikki.
But I got you. But yeah, so the last one, all I can see is that apparently it is going to be, there is something coming to Los Angeles, but not until 2026. So we got a little bit of time for that one, but that's all. I mean, that's all I got as far as that. Again, I'll be able to give more opinions once I get back from it. I'm excited to just kind of like get lost in it. Apparently they offer like a little scavenger hunt to like, and I enjoy those kind of things. So I like interactive things like the Exploratorium or like I love those kind of museums that are like hands-on with stuff.
Interactive exhibits.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
I remember it was last year that I went to Long Island RetroCon. At the Great Wall of Aviation. They have like entire chambers where you could just sit down and play classic arcade games and like really, really old PC games. I actually played a little bit of the original Alone in the Dark.
Interesting.
Oh, cool. And of course,
it was nifty, but it was fucking stiff. I didn't know what I was doing at all.
Makes sense. And of course, you have the Nintendo Museum now.
Yeah.
All the way down in Tokyo. Is it Tokyo or somewhere else?
It's in Japan, and you can't get in.
Well, it was basically it's like a raffle to like even get the ticket in because it's so popular right now. Hi, how are you doing?
I mean, you're right. It's not open. Like, is it still not open to the public yet? I figured they would have done that by now.
It is Nintendo.
It is open to the public, but it's still like on that queue kind of system to avoid like overcrowding.
Okay, you know what it is with this stage? It's the distance between 50 centimeters and 1.5 meters.
Oh yeah?
There's a very specific arrangement of objects that you're allowed to roll up at this point.
Oh, I think now, yeah, you're mentioning that we're basically like twice or so you'd end up in a situation where there's like nothing to collect anywhere near you.
Yeah. So what I find myself doing is I keep going from one part of the town to the other part of the town to the other part of the town without really rolling up anything substantial until now.
Routing is very important in this stage.
Yeah. Then again,
Yeah,
that could be... The same could be said for basically any Katamari stage.
For sure, but again, this one's straight. So Steve, how you doing?
Doing fine. I'm finally getting some work done on the Avatar video, which feels good getting work done on that after so long. Also, finally got around to auditioning for stuff, which I really need to get back into the habit of doing more of.
Neato
sweet.
burrito.
What's that, Ikki?
Neato burrito.
Oh, east.
What exactly is in that burrito?
I don't know, I don't eat burritos.
Things that are neat.
Neat meat.
I'll take that, yeah.
But, yeah.
It's like
that's
the
how
opposite of Beyond Meat.
I'm actually now very curious. I doubt someone's ever going to have done it, but I am curious about it. I'm going to check and see if, I'm gonna check and see if anyone's ever, like recreated, because there's this old Shivers game I knew called did I say whatever, the old Sierra game I knew called Shivers, yeah.
Right, you showed us that game a little while ago while you like just starting your Archipelago craze.
And it's still going strong. I still love it, but I want to see if someone's ever tried like recreating the museum from that, like not in real life, of course not, but like if anyone's ever done like a 3D like thing, because there's that cool VG Maps site I learned about the other day when I was like showing James like
VG Maps.
I'm very curious to see what I can learn about that. So let me see what I can.
Are you talking about the website that allows you to like use NoClip to just explore?
No. That's
some
that's
maps?
noclip.dg, but it is a cool website as well.
It really is.
Basically,
Alright,
VG
there you
Maps
go.
basically is like, you know how in strategy guides they'll have like, you know, JPEGs of like
Oh, like
mapping
the
out the
Prima
entire
guides?
area?
Yes!
Yeah.
That was like the only thing I could recommend about the Prima guides is that the maps they use for those games are actually really adorable.
Basically, imagine a website dedicated entirely to making maps like that.
Oh, I love that.
Also, hell yeah! Oh my gosh, I just found the dude.
Look.
He goes by Rankified Videos on YouTube, and he's been starting like a month. He started about a month ago, and it's not. I mean, it's still a little bit rough because I mean, all the polygons and stuff were again very rough still in the game, but it looks like he's trying to recreate the museum from Shivers in Blender.
Oh.
So what's the ideal of the museum you're talking about?
Oh, it's just a wild museum of the weird and like superstitious and stuff.
Supernatural.
Yep, and it just so happens that there's ghosts and stuff happening inside of it that you're trying to stop.
Wait, is this the FMV game you were talking about?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, now I remember, sort of.
but yeah, I just always want to see if someone do that. But yeah, let me check out VG Maps now because I want to see what it looks like here. The video game Atlas. You're actually here, yada.
Shit, now that you talk about it, now that you mention it, I'm suddenly reminded. Another game that I really want to record soon. Yuppie Psycho.
Uh huh.
Oh yeah.
I got the what's it called? The executive edition, I believe it's called.
Uh huh.
I got that at Hung Out Videocon, which by the way is where I got to watch Fine Sauce live, which was fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's cool.
Most I'll say is that if we ever do Yuppie Psycho, we're gonna wait until Tara's ready to record with us.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that he'd really want to be there for that project.
Wait, he or she?
Yeah,
He.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is he interested in that? Is he interested in that person's like work and stuff? Or?
He did play the game a while ago, and I think got one for all the endings.
Oh, nice.
Okay, nice.
Maybe I should.
So I'm
have
sure
a word with him
I'm sure
too.
he'd have as much to talk about as Ikki would.
Gotcha.
Maybe I should geek out about it with him because, without spoiling anything, there is like a small-ish museum part of the game that's actually really eerie.
Oh.
I love it. In like an open flesh wound kind of way.
Like, there's a lot to be said about that game, most of which are probably heavy spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of the thrill with these kinds of horror thrillers.
Well, this is interesting. Somebody, I'm just looking at that VG map site a bit. Somebody started an entry for Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy.
Oh my god!
But they only got up to the second hub. They didn't do any other levels after that yet.
Damn.
So it's a work in progress.
Granted, Jak and Daxter is like a giant fucking world.
Oh, but it is cool they did. Here, I'll post I'll post an example of maybe I missed the one that has like a lot of cool stuff to show off.
It's a giant world with little to no transitions whatsoever.
Right, but here's an example of, I guess, one. I'm not putting this in the video. Look it up yourself. Support the original content creators. Yada yada yada. Here's an example one they did for Jak and Daxter with the stage.
That's actually really well done.
Where again, like it's like they extract the area, and then they even like went as far as to map out like other paths and stuff. Here's one for the Precursor Basin where
I think it would help if they set the treetops to transparent.
Yeah,
because you can't see through that thing.
I agree. That's a little bit tricky to find out specifically.
But otherwise, it's pretty good stuff.
Let me see if they've done any for. Let me see what other games they've done on this. It's all like really dated, kind of like UI, but I mean it's all here. So let's see what they got. They got one for Resident Evil 2. I think so. Like, what does this look like? Okay, that was a little bit more mundane. So like, there's all sorts of different styles. There's one I just saw right now where it was more like a top-down, like it was drawn in MS Paint to kind of create the same layout, but it does match it at least. It's neat. I'll give it that. I appreciate like I appreciate the art like that people are putting into this. Almost like a couple of these are more so like more like big guides. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm looking at one for Disgaea Hour of Darkness, and it's not necessarily
share.
Whoa. Well, it's Disgaea Hour of Darkness, but it's on a map because everything's all randomized. So instead, what it is
except for the story maps.
So instead, it's a weapon rank guide that they uploaded.
Ooh, that's really good.
Where it shows what every weapon upgrades into at each rank and stuff.
That's good shit.
And for a specific gear.
And actually, the equipments don't upgrade to each other. They are just different tiers of. They're different things you.
Okay.
Or steal off of weapons.
I don't know. I could definitely see myself getting lost a bit in this website to follow along, and they even did one for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh, goody.
Of course they would.
It looks a bit more disjointed because of how the levels render, but I mean, there's Westopolis. And...
I mean, yeah, considering most of them are either in a straight line or they're very like they're not sandboxy enough to really be comfortable to scroll through.
They even did this, James. Can you tell? I'm asking this rhetorically. Can you tell what that's a map of?
That looks like a map of...
You guessed it.
It's from Sonic
the
Heroes.
Ocean Floor.
Sonic Heroes?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
Is that Hang Castle?
No.
Is that fucking Mystic Mansion?
No, that is the Egg Hawk stage when you're fighting the Egg Hawk and the trail that you follow.
It's so ginormous.
Yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't tell that from the fucking background elements.
Right, because that's supposed to be like the ocean underneath it.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
And all those platforms are just where you fight the guy.
Yeah.
I wonder... No, but now that you mention it, I am very frightened to see how the Egg Albatross boss fight looks.
Pull it up.
Also, for those of you watching this and are just using it as background noise, we do not blame you in the slightest.
It's just a mission from Katamari Damacy. Go watch that playthrough, except don't, because I sound horrible in that.
Oh, you're fine.
There's a tunnel in this map?
Well,
yes, yeah.
Also, we never did Damacy. We only did We Heart Katamari.
Right, we did a look at it.
I swear to God, we did Damacy.
We did a look at it.
We did a look at it, and I honestly, we just went straight to We Heart Katamari because, I mean, you didn't care enough to really do that one for us.
I think, I agree. I think We Heart is the better, experience. Kind of like.
I mean, it's the improved sequel for a reason.
Yeah, but it's also like, do you get enough of the context from just a look at of the first game?
I don't know. The last thing I'll say that I found on a funny YouTube video just now is I just saw I just saw a thumbnail on YouTube now when I was pulling this information up, talking about Sonic Unleashed and the Unleashed recompiled, and comparing like the original IGN scores and everyone, and basically the title being, so do we like Unleashed now? Like, are we finally admitting that we thought that the game was actually really good?
One does not like a Sonic game.
Unless it's like a good Sonic game.
Unless it's like a Sonic Mania. But anyways, with that said, we will meet up again on the next part of Katamari Forever, where hopefully we'll actually talk about the game rather than just
I enjoy talking about wacky stuff. Go ahead, James.
Me too.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-byes.